Have you ever stopped to think about how your cat actually sees you? Not how you see them, not how you feel about them, not what you project onto them, but how they truly perceive you. Because there is something the overwhelming majority of cat owners in the world have never stopped to question. Your cat has never looked at you and seen a human. Never. Let that sink in for a second. They look at you every day, sleep near you, follow you from room to room, sometimes even meow when you arrive. And in none of those moments are they thinking, "This is my human owner." So what do they see instead? That changes everything you think you know about your relationship. And that is exactly what we're about to break down now. Think of a scene that probably already happened today. You walk into a room. Your cat is there. They look at you. Maybe they slow blink. Maybe they stretch. Maybe they simply look away and keep lying there. And then, instinctively, you interpret that. They're calm. They're happy to see me. They're ignoring me again. Completely human process. Because you process the world with human tools. You read expressions, posture, reaction, and you conclude. The problem is that your cat
Look at that
is
neutral
doing
gaze.
exactly
You're
the
just
same
soaking it all
thing,
in, aren't you?
but with
I
a
know that look. You're
completely
plotting
different
something, but
system
you're
than
keeping it
yours.
cool.
They are not
Such a
reading
mysterious
you
little
as a
friend.
separate species. There is no special category in their brain called human. They are interpreting you with the only system they have, the same one they use with other cats, and that has an implication most people never stop to consider. In your cat's world, you are not an owner. You are not superior. You are not something separate or different. You are just a very large cat, and a little strange. I know. It sounds absurd, but ethologists, the scientists who
Hey,
study
kitty,
animal
come here.
behavior, came to a conclusion
on over
that
here.
changed the way we understand
Come here,
domestic
kitty.
cats. Unlike dogs,
Come here, buddy.
which over thousands of years of
Come on, buddy,
domestication
let's move.
developed specific behaviors to interact with humans, cats never did that. They did not place us into a special category. They placed us into the logic that already existed, the logic of other cats, and that explains everything. It explains why your cat sometimes ignores you when you call, because cats do not respond to calls in a hierarchical way. It explains why they follow you without wanting anything, because cats in the same group move together. It explains why sometimes they simply sit nearby, without interacting, without asking for anything, just present, because that is what members of a colony do. But wait, because if you think that's surprising, what comes next will completely reorganize the way you see every one of their behaviors. Now that you know that, let me show you what your cat's behaviors really mean. When they rub their head against you, you probably think, "How affectionate!" And it is beautiful. I'm not taking that away from you. But what is happening biologically? They are mocking you. With the glands on the sides of their head and under their chin, they are depositing their scent on you, in the exact same way they would with another cat in the group. It is not romance. It is belonging. You smell like me. You are part of my group. When they lick your hand, it is not just, "Ah, how cute." It is social grooming. The same behavior cats use with each other to strengthen bonds. To say, "I care about your hygiene. You matter to me." It is one of the greatest gifts a cat can offer. And when they sleep near you, it is not just thermal comfort. It is not just because the couch is soft. They are placing you inside their circle of safety. Because within a feline colony, sleeping close means absolute trust. You do not sleep next to someone who threatens you. You sleep next to someone who
Hey
protects
there, little
you.
guy. You're a bit
And
tense,
if you
huh?
are that place for them,
Whoa, easy now. I
that
won't hurt
means
you.
something far
You're
deeper
so
than
unpredictable, but
they
I
like
love it.
me.
Okay, I'll back off a little.
Now let's talk about the real problem. If your cat sees you as a cat, and you behave like a human, what happens? Imagine two cats meeting for the first time. They do not run toward each other. They do not touch immediately. They do not invade each other's space. They pause, observe, move slowly, allow distance, and with time, they build trust. That is the feline protocol, tested and validated by thousands of years of evolution. Now compare that with what most humans do. They arrive fast, approach directly, try to touch without warning, make loud, excited sounds, bring their face close. To us, that is friendliness. To the cat, that looks like instability, unpredictable behavior, energy that follows no known logic. And when you act that way often, part of your cat's brain stays permanently on alert. Even if they are next to you, even if they purr, part of them is still monitoring. And that is never trust. It is only tolerance. But there is a huge difference between a cat that tolerates you and a cat that truly trusts you. And now I'm going to show you exactly how to tell the difference. Wait a second before you continue. Everything you just heard, most cat owners will go their entire lives without ever knowing. And without knowing it, they will keep thinking they have a good relationship with their cat, when in reality they are leaving the best part of that connection on the table. If this content is making sense to you, save this video right now. Not because you will remember it, but because you will want to come back to it. And follow me, because what's coming in the next videos goes even deeper. Now come back with me, because the most important part is still ahead. Here is something very few people know. Cats are both predators and prey. That detail seems simple, but it completely changes how you interpret their behavior. A domesticated dog, which evolved as a group predator, has a nervous system calibrated for cooperation, hierarchy, belonging. A domesticated cat has something different. Its brain is constantly processing two questions at the same time. Is there something here I can hunt? Is there something here that can get me? And every interaction you have with them feeds that system. Not emotionally, biologically. Your tone of voice, your movement rhythm, your consistency over the days, the way you enter the environment, all of that becomes data. And your cat's nervous system processes that data all the time. Silently, continuously, without you noticing. And based on that processing, they build a conclusion about you. Not in words, but in sensation. This being is safe. Or, this being is unpredictable. And that conclusion defines everything. Now let me show you the difference between a cat that is nearby and a cat that truly trusts you. Because those two are not the same thing. A cat that stays close may be looking for warmth, waiting for food, having nowhere else to go. A cat that truly trusts you does specific things. They stretch out completely. Long body, open paws, belly exposed. The belly is the most vulnerable area on a cat. That is where the vital organs are. Showing the belly is a clear signal. I am not afraid here. They close their eyes for real near you. Not that light dozing with one eye half open. Actually closed. Deeply. An animal in survival mode never closes both eyes near a threat. Never. When they do that beside you, it is a silent declaration. They turn their back to you. It looks like distance. It looks like indifference. But it is the opposite. Turning their back means they do not need to monitor you. That you are not a variable of risk. That you are part of the safe environment. How many times has that happened to you? And you interpreted it as, they're ignoring me? There is a myth that needs to be destroyed here. Cats are independent. They do not need connection. That is partially true, and completely misleading. Cats do need connection, just a different kind. A dog seeks active approval, wants to please, wants direct interaction, reads hierarchy. A cat seeks something else. They seek coherence, and that difference is enormous. Approval is about what you do. Coherence is about who you are. You can be inconsistent and still please a dog with a treat. But with a cat, every unpredictable behavior from you is recorded. Every sudden yell, every abrupt movement, every time you approach them differently from what they expected. It all becomes data. And that is why many people live with a cat for years, and still feel like they never truly have access to them. Not because the cat does not want connection, but because the connection they offer requires a different kind of presence from you. Now let's get to the core of everything. You have probably heard that cats need love, that cats need attention, that cats need stimulation. All true. But there is one thing that comes before all of those. One thing without which none of the others works. Safety. Not physical safety, food, shelter, vet care. Emotional biological safety. The feeling that the environment is stable, that the variables around them are predictable, that the beings they live with are not sources of uncertainty. Because for an animal that spent thousands of years needing to assess threats all the time, uncertainty is not discomfort. Uncertainty is danger. And then comes the point no one tells you. You do not need to be perfect. You do not need to be calm all the time. You do not need to follow a list of rules. You need to be predictable. Same energy when you come home. Same way of approaching. Same tone of voice in daily life. Not robotic, but consistent. And over time, your cat's nervous system calibrates to you. You stop being a variable and become a constant. And constant is the closest thing to love a cat can register. So let me summarize what we saw today. Your cat does not see you as human. They placed you into the logic of other cats. When they mark you, lick you, sleep near you, that is not special behavior reserved for humans. It is the same behavior they use to strengthen bonds with those they consider part of the group. And being part of the group is the highest level of inclusion that exists in their world. Unpredictable behavior creates alertness. Consistent behavior creates trust. And trust does not show up as affection. It shows up as vulnerability, as a cat that truly closes its eyes, that exposes its belly, that turns its back. And the final insight: you do not need your cat to see you as human. You need them to see you as safe, because in their world, that is the highest form of connection that exists. You do not need to be loved the way a human loves. You need to be trustworthy the way a cat trusts. And when you stop trying to be loved and start becoming someone trustworthy, your relationship changes in a way you never forget. Most people will spend their entire lives thinking they have a good relationship with their cat. And maybe they do. But after this video, you know there is a level beyond that. A level that does not depend on how much you love your cat. It depends on how much you understand them. If you want to get there, start here. Save this video. Send it to someone who has a cat. Because most people will never hear this. And follow me, because in the next videos, we are going straight into practice. I'm going to show you the physical signs that indicate your cat is under chronic stress without you realizing it. The behaviors that seem normal but are actually cries for help. And how to build, from zero, a routine that truly communicates safety to them. You won't want to miss it. See you next time.